Good afternoon, everyone, and happy 2023. Can you believe it that we are already 3 years into the new decade? Anyways, I digress. So, the very first thing that we're doing this year, the whole month of January, we are going back to the basics of science and mind, and we are really rooting and grounding into our teachings and our principles and our philosophy and what is it that we do believe. And then from there, rebooting into a new year of live out loud. So this week in our root and reboot, is this idea of God is a concept. Now, the very first thing we have to do when we're establishing and grounding ourselves into a spiritual philosophy is decide what is this thing that we call God? And not all spiritual philosophies or religions even have a God. And yet we use this term all the time in Science and Mind. And we have tons of names for this thing that we call God, we call spirit, source. Some people call it the universe or the multiverse. Some people call it Allah or Abba or Mother, Father, Spirit, or all of these different names, these things that allude to that which is greater than us. And so the reason that I want to talk about this idea of God is because this word God is charged for a lot of people, especially if you grew up in a religion that has a God or gods that you call by this name, that there can be a lot of understandings or misconceptions even of what God is. And so in Science of Mind, we do not believe in that sort of God out there old man with a white beard in the sky that is looking down upon us and judging us and granting our wishes through prayers, right? We don't believe in any of that. Rather, when we're using the word God, what we're actually alluding to is that thing that is both greater than us and encompassing us in this beautiful divine paradox. You see, Science of Mind believes in oneness. We believe that there is only one thing going on, and this thing is so great, so grand, so infinite, so eternal, so beyond absolute that we can't begin to even understand or comprehend what all it includes. It is everything. It is you, it is me, it is this microphone and computer that I am talking to and on. It is the table and the candles and the lights and the pets and the people and the plants and the animals and the bacteria and the viruses and all of it. It is everything. It is the very building blocks of which we are made. It is both creator and created, all in one thing. And so you can see where that gets a little messy because we can't comprehend all, like the thing that is beyond the nothing that is beyond the end of the universe. We can't comprehend what that may be. And so we come up with these terms like God or source or Allah or Abba or whatever we use, spirit, divine, whatever that term is that supports you personally in that opening to something that is greater than yourself, that is also yourself all at once. Divine paradox, right? And so that's what we mean when we use this word God. God is not a thing, but rather, or God is not a person, but rather a consciousness, a thing, a unknowable essence of ourselves. God is all of it, every decision, every action, all of this. And so if the word God doesn't work for you, that's okay. Find the word that works for you, that makes you open up to that which is beyond anything that we can possibly comprehend. And then anytime you hear somebody use the word God in this teaching, or when being used to describe that oneness, go ahead and insert your word right there. That's all you have to do. You don't have to make it wrong or right or beat yourself up for not really loving that word. It's okay. It's just a word. It's just a human word that we made up to describe something that is indescribable, unknowable. I love when we get back to the root of this teaching, because there is just so much richness and juiciness there. And I think that at the very heart of this teaching, there is so much good that can be done. And it's when we get out and we get a little into the rabbit holes that we kind of tend to forget the power that lies in science of mind. And so I'm excited to be going back to the roots of our teachings, to get back to those very foundational principles, and to see, okay, when we are sitting grounded in our principles, what does that mean for my life? What does that mean for our communities, for our world, for our society, for our culture, for the universe? How can these principles really show up and support me in being the highest and best version of myself? And what do these terms highest and best even mean? So these are some of the questions that we'll be discussing. I don't know that we'll be answering any of them, but we're going to be really rooting into our principles and really starting 2023 from a place of just grounded knowing, grounded in the truth of oneness, because that's really what we're talking about, is that we are all one. So I hope you join me this Sunday, and I love you all. Happy New Year.